I have always wanted to get the best video editing software, and there are a bunch of software out there in the web. It's always challenge to choose the right one. And after a lot of research and a lot of usage, I found out that this is the best comfort zone that I've found out from a software point of view. And this is a list which I prefer. This is not a list which is the best. So what are the four software that I wanted to introduce today to you all? The first software, and first let me tell you, I use a Mac. So I don't use Windows, and that's my preference is always towards Mac. Now Mac has some very good video editing software, and they're world renowned. And unlike Windows, Mac has better video editing capabilities from a software point of view, because Mac is more oriented towards creative content creators, while Windows is less oriented towards them. But there are software which work on both sides. So that's number one. Number two is the fact that in Mac you get some of the free softwares which are very, very useful. So let's start with the number one software here that I use. Number one, there are four recommendations I want to make right now. And out of these four recommendations, I'll choose one finally. And you can decide how you want to go about doing it. So first thing, before we get into the final list, I want to talk to you about Imovies. And Imovies is a free software. You can download it from your Apple stores, and it's free. You can make movies, and it's a very basic software, but it is very useful for anybody who starts making movies and video editing software to upload to YouTube's. It's a very simple process, and I have used Imovies. I've liked Imovies a lot. It's quite intuitive, and because I'm using a Mac, the workflow is very easy for me. After you've used Imovies for a while, you might want to upgrade a little bit to something different. Not that Imovies is bad, but you might get bored of it, or you might want to move into something which is slightly more customizable to your preference. Okay. Having said that, Imovies is great. In that case, I'll talk to you about a couple of third-party softwares which can be used. One is called Camtasia. Camtasia is a good software, and I use it all the time. It's pretty intuitive. I like the workflow of Camtasia. You can download, import media, all of that stuff here. It's a very clean UI, transitions, behavior, annotations, all are there. So anybody who's starting off, it's easy for him, and then you can share your output into YouTube or Google Drive or Screenshot or whatever, and create a local file as well. So Camtasia is pretty good. Timelines very similar to Imovies, not very different. But what you can also do in Camtasia, what you can't do in Imovies, is you can record your screen. So what I generally do with Imovies is I record everything in QuickTime Player, and then I use that file in Imovies and edit it. But in Camtasia you can do both, so that is an advantage. Of course, and there is a cost involved in this one. The next one is ScreenFlow. So ScreenFlow is also very similar to Camtasia. I have used this one, and I preferred this slightly to Camtasia up until 2017-18. After that, I don't think ScreenFlow is good anymore. ScreenFlow has some issues with regards to its loading in Mac nowadays, so I don't find it very intuitive anymore. But it is very similar to Camtasia, and very easy to upload and make videos on this one. This is also good. And then finally, the one which I'm currently using is Final Cut Pro. Now, Final Cut Pro is the gold standard as far as video editing is concerned. And I have not paid a single rupee in Final Cut Pro. So what I did was I went to torrent, go to any torrent, just type Final Cut Pro, download it for free, and then you install it. You don't have to pay any money to Apple or anybody. I mean, it costs some $300, but I'm not going to pay $300 for this piece of software because I'm not making content for commercial purpose. I'm just making it for free. The reason I like Final Cut Pro is because I've got a MacBook Pro, and it sort of fits in with my style. And this is my Final Cut Pro workspace. So it's very similar to Imovies and very similar to Camtasia. But as you can see, Camtasia is very basic, and Final Cut Pro is not very basic. Um, Now, of course, Camtasia also I got it for free because I don't believe in paying any money for the softwares that you get, because all these companies are already making a ton of money in their own domains. So don't pay for software. Just buy them, get it for free if you can. You know, if you can get copies of it, just get it. Yeah, you got to take a risk in terms of going and downloading and malware and all that stuff, but I'm willing to take that risk. Who's going to pay $200, $300 for a software, really? Okay, so let's come back to the point. The point is there are a lot of options here. You can control your video. You can do what I like about Final Cut Pro is that the volume control process is very good. You can just click the noise removal button here, and the noise will be removed. In Camtasia, for example, if you have the audio effects, is you have to drag this particular thing to your timeline. Okay, and there is only a very limited option of noise removal in Camtasia. And sometimes my biggest problem is noise removal because I'm recording this video in my room, and sometimes there is some external noise which comes through. So that's very important for me. Here you have several options. You can increase the loudness if you want to. You have equalization option here with other different voice modulation qualities and all of that. You can change the frequency. So it's far more professional for me and far more easier to use Final Cut Pro. And after you're done, you can just go here on the right side, right hand corner, and you can upload it to YouTube. And it's pretty simple. And this once you're downloaded, you will get a message here talking about what processes are going on, and that will tell you if any of your things, any of your projects, if there's any delay anywhere. Now the best part about Final Cut Pro is that because this is quite a heavy software, it's not a light software, but with Mac it is absolutely synchronized, optimized. So it works very well. There are no lags, no issues. So when you're a Mac user, go with Final Cut Pro if you can, or get, I would say, iMovies, and Camtasia is also good. But these are all really basic ones, and when you start off, you like basic ones, and after a point in time, you want to move to a little more complicated and bespoke solutions. So in that point of view, I like Final Cut Pro, and Final Cut Pro also has a lot of tutorials online, so it's pretty easy to sort of go and get answers to questions that you might have. So that's my answer. Final Cut Pro number 1, Camtasia and iMovies number 2, and ScreenFlow number 3. Stay with Final Cut Pro, it's very good.